So many messages we have heard, and even if you have been here with Dominion Sonship for a little while, there's been a lot of messages you've heard. A lot of living through the Bible. But this is the hour where we are to allow the Word to live out His life, to live out His life through us, to live out His life through us. So often we can sound so lofty with the proclamations of the Word of God. How many verses we've memorized. How holy we can sound to someone. How sanctified our speech can be because we can only quote verses. But when it comes to living out those verses, when it comes to living out the reality, it's where the rubber hits the road. That without this mortification of the outer man, you're saying no to the way the thoughts want to roll in your mind. There will be no enduring victory in your life. And thus we turn to a life of pretense. A life of pretense. And agony within. Knowing. Surely there's a way out. I just don't know it. Although we quote those verses. Why don't we know it to live it out? Because we have really never fully understood what it means to not live for self. To not live for self, but to live for God. To live for God is a life that is fully consecrated to the way of God. And all thoughts that really are rebellious thoughts of self-preservation, of planning out my future, of preserving my life, and therefore worry a lot, because I can't seem to budget the budget. I can't seem to work out the system. Worry, anxiousness of mind. It's not working again. I don't have the means. No, we don't have the means. Self is limited. The only place of self is to be on the cross. Self is destined for mortification. So if you live in that self nature, the flesh, you always be coming short. You always come to death in areas, death. Naturally speaking, seeing no future, no hope, coming to the end of it again and again and again. Yes, because this is where you're supposed to say, I'm unburdening the self. I'm living for God. And I cast all my care on the one who cares for me. I will not be anxious in my mind. I'll worry for nothing, but I'll get back in the Word of God and I'll read the Word of God again and again and again until this Word starts coming into my heart in a greater manner and turning over the soil of my heart and speaking a higher reality. If God before me, who can be against me? The one who started this good work in me, He will complete it to the very end. And this is how, moment by moment, layer by layer, we start entrusting ourselves, our lives to God. Forsaking an old way of fending for ourselves, of trying to figure it out, of sorting out my life. Planning out the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Never taking an account of a potential interception in that plan. The just shall live by faith. And faith solely comes through the hearing of the Word of God. Faith is not irresponsible living. Faith is responsible living towards God and His plan. An accountable living before God. That I will give an account of my life to the living God.